Welcome to Tribe Talk, presented by Truist. Hello again, everyone. This is Jay Colley. With us is head football coach at the College William and Mary, Mike London. And Coach, first of all, let's reflect a little bit, if we can, on that loss on the road versus UVA. Some of the bright spots, I don't want to steal your thunder, but that defense in the first half had some huge stops.
No, I thought they played well. I thought up front we did a good job of beating blocks, of putting the hats in the right gap. 2 fourth down stops that, were critical. But just overall, just watching them play. Now, eventually they wore us out, as the game went on. But initially, that was a running team. They wanted to dominate and establish the run, and we were able to withstand that. So, it proves that we can do it. But, football is a game that you got to play offense, and your special teams have to be critical as well. And so we weren't as inefficient in those 2 other areas. But, the goal is to get better from one game to the next and to make the biggest improvements, and that's what we're looking to do.
Donovan Lester on the offensive side of the ball had some good runs for you, and obviously at that moment in time, the offensive line was doing a good job opening up some gaps as well.
No, Donovan is really taking care of his body. He lost weight. He got stronger. He understands the schemes that we're trying to run, and he's a guy that can run the daylight. And when had have the opportunity, he's one of the fastest guys, if not the fastest on our team. So we're going to keep, pushing the aspect of up front making your blocks. Running backs make your reads. Wide receivers, if you have to crack or if you have to stalk a corner or safety, then do so. And then when you do those types of things, it's going to lead to more explosive plays, which is some of the things that we needed to get accomplished, but we weren't able to do.
Turning our attention now to this week's game, it's the Lafayette Leopards coming to Zabel Stadium, a 6 o'clock kick here in Williamsburg. And, Coach, tell us a little bit about Lafayette. They had a loss on the road, but to an FBS program, pretty competitive out there at Air Force.
John Garrett is a longtime friend of mine. We were on a staff together back at UVA when we first got together. So I've known him for a while. Obviously the 2019 game we had against them. And knowing that, they're a good football team. They played in the spring and they were successful in the spring. They've got a good team. They have a 2 quarterback system that they went against Air Force with. They'll both play. They got a wide receiver that did a great job in the game, had a career high in terms of his receptions. Their offensive line is big. He's done a good job of recruiting and putting those pieces together offensively. Defensively, they have a young man that's on the Buck Buchanan FCS preseason All-American defensive end there. He's really, really good. So they've got some pieces in place, for them to be competitive. So, we're going to take care of ourselves, the things that we need to do in order to be successful and efficient, and also to execute so we can see our guys have success on the field.
Coach, stepping away from the game on the field a little bit, the Be the Match program, it's our Be the Match night. Tell us a little bit about that. And I know you have an incredible personal story as well.
BeTheMatch.org is an organization that, tries to educate people on the importance of being bone marrow donors, being aware about, the other things that they can do. It's not just about the transplants, but it's about just the information of how you can be helpful. My bone marrow process to my daughter Tyson, who I was a perfect match for, was through a pheresis machine, which is basically giving blood. So we got to try to educate people that it's not always through the hip, that there's other opportunities and other ways to successfully, service, the people that are in need. And then, we had one of our players in 2019, Mark Williamson, as you know, remember we had a game where he met his recipient. And it was great. The 2 of them meeting for the first time was awesome, and that's what it's all about. BeTheMatch.org. I got started with Andy Talley, back in the CAA early days, and he was involved with Bone Marrow's Rise. Be the Match, get in the game. So we're excited about it, Jay, about having an opportunity to share, to also educate people as they come to this game. And the last one is also 9/11. This nation went through a horrific time, but we wanted to make sure that we acknowledge and honor thoughts and prayers for those who lost their lives. My uncle is in the fire department up there in New York, and he's going to bring down a couple shirts for me to wear. So I might have a Be the Match shirt on the first half, and then a commemorative, wearing a fire department jersey the second half. But again, it's two opportunities to express one, the gratitude in terms of people servicing the Be the Match organization, and then two, to be commemorative about a painful loss, but also a spirit that will never die. For us to care about the people that have gone on. So, and then the game itself is something that we're going to play. But we look forward to having an opportunity, Jay, to play, to be productive, and hopefully get a win on Saturday night.
Coach, I think it has been announced by now that the fans will be wearing masks on a Saturday for the benefit of all.
Yeah, it has. And, we're living in times that, we just want to be out of the abundance of caution, just be, smart and alert and aware about how we go about doing things so we can attack this virus once again and try to get ahead of it if we can. But just being mindful, so, we look forward to seeing people in the stadium. That's the biggest thing from the spring, is seeing them in the stadium, students, fans, supporters alike. So hopefully we'll see everyone there. And I see you got yours on. You're in your office by yourself. And you know what? I'll do the same thing as we sign off here, Jay, is making sure that we do the right things here. But appreciate it.
Coach, I just want to say, fans in the stands, you can still yell, "Go Tribe."
Sure can. Go Tribe.
Thanks, Coach, and good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Everything you know about colonial heritage is true. A beautiful golf course with exquisite dining and superb event space. But this is also true. You don't have to live there to play, dine, or celebrate there. So let Colonial Heritage be your host for a round, a meal, or a gathering. It's all true. You don't have to live there to enjoy being there. At Colonial Heritage, golf memberships are available. ColonialHeritageClub.com.
What does tomorrow look like? That's really up to us. By exploring what's ahead and learning from where we've been, we find ways to care and teach ourselves and others how to heal so that we can make life better by design.
Fun fact, Mountain Dew and spicy chicken is the perfect combo.
Does it look like I don't know that?
Okay. Didn't mean to ruffle your feathers.
We both did the employee training, Gary.
Okay, don't jump down my beak.
Doing spicy? Do the do.
Welcome back to Tribe Talk, presented by Truist. Jay Colley with us, a very special guest today, Darren Pope. He played quarterback at William & Mary from 1996 until 2000, graduating in 2001. First of all, Darren, bring us up to speed. How are you doing, and what are you doing?
Hey, Jay, great to see you, and thanks for having me. I'm actually living in Augusta, Georgia, with two of my teammates, which was just happened chance. I started my career, which we'll get into, in New York City, and spent a little over a decade in finance. And my wife and I, we had a family retail company that I helped fund and then eventually helped run for over another decade, proving my age. But now I'm actually back in finance. I work for UBS in the investment bank and help manage the equity research department. But thanks again for having me, and I'm happy to be here.
Darren, we have you on ostensibly today as a commemorative guest for the tragedy, the terrorist attacks of 2001 at the World Trade Center, particularly. You were fairly close to that incident. So you graduated in 2001, and take us from that point.
So my employer was Lehman Brothers, and I had a great opportunity in between my junior and senior year to do an internship, which turned into an early offer. And so it was a great sigh of relief before graduating to have a career start lined up. So I started working at Lehman Brothers in the late summer, and Lehman Brothers was situated right across the West Side Highway from the Twin Towers. And our training happened to be about 3 blocks south of the South Tower. So on that Tuesday morning, I was about 3 blocks south, and our training started promptly at 9 o'clock. So everybody was there about 20 minutes before. And unfortunately, that's when the events of September 11th started to unravel.
So I understand that the first plane, you knew something was going on, but the professor said, continue the test.
Yeah, so people started to spill in closer to the time class started, and as they came in, we happened to be there before the first plane hit. But in the lobby we're on the 10th story of this building, and the people who filtered in closer to the time that class started said something had happened. There was an accident at one of the 2 towers, and we had time, so we all kind of went and filled the lobby. And sure enough, the initial coverage, you couldn't really tell what was happening other than it looked like something pretty critical. And so the proctor called us back into class and said, blamed it probably on a prop plane. These accidents happen from time to time, and class was going to get started, only to be followed by a few hours later. The second plane hit the second building that we felt measurably. Our building shook, and that kind of started, I think, the chaos of those who were in and around the area immediately after that second plane hit.
So now you've got a grasp that it's something more than an accident. It indeed may be terrorism. What were you thinking, and what happened after that I understand, getting on a ferry to get out of Manhattan?
So a couple of my colleagues and I were fortunate to have been taking the ferry prior thereto. So we had a little bit of knowledge around how the system worked and what some of the local points of entry and exit were. And so we figured that the next best point was the Wall Street ferry. So we started to head in that direction, at which point, before all the cell phones got cut, we did hear somebody say that the Pentagon was just hit. And that's sort of when I think our anxiety level probably was at the highest while we were there on the island. So we made our way to the Wall Street ferry. They were pushing as many people onto each and every one of those ferries that were able to disembark. And we got on one of the last ferries, and so as we were coming around the southern tip of Manhattan, going towards Hoboken, the first tower fell. That was a pretty tough visual. I think I think the magnitude of the whole day that really changed the scope of, I think, what exactly was happening.
Yeah, and it must be to this day something that is in your mind whenever it's brought up, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Some of the footage and really some of the pictures really doesn't do it justice to, watching people run from the billows of smoke, fall into the river, and just all the other difficult stuff to really think about.
Darren, I understand that you were part of the sales process and the developing of a device, a mechanism to have emergency crews communicate a little bit better after that day.
So yes, we had lost a family member of the tribe who was close to I think our friend group, and so we tried to help that family. And fortunately, the requirements for Lehman Brothers were such that I had about 4 or 5 weeks as they were going through all the disaster and recovery plans of not having to work, but also having time to hopefully help. And so one of my future roommates had a connection with somebody whose uncle was running some of the integration for the software that was trying to connect all the different agencies and authorities and municipalities that were there helping on the island, which was a difficult task, particularly when you have a lot of help coming from Washington to a big metropolis like New York City. And so our job was, we quickly got trained on the software and how to troubleshoot. And our job was to train all the NYPD and all the firefighters so that they could work with organizations like FEMA and the Red Cross and know how to actually use it. And so we did that for the better part of 3 or 4 weeks after 9/11.
Commemorating the events of 2001, the 20th anniversary. Thanks, Darren, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Jay.
Another rock and roll weekend.
Burgers, better with Pepsi.
Life's an adventure. Celebrate it with the Langley Pays checking account. Earn 10 cents with every debit card purchase, 10% interest rebate on loan payments, and get your paycheck up to 3 days early. With Langley, you'll never stop celebrating.
Everything you know about colonial heritage is true. A beautiful golf course with exquisite dining and superb event space. But this is also true. You don't have to live there to play, dine, or celebrate there. So let Colonial Heritage be your host for a round, a meal, or a gathering. It's all true. You don't have to live there to enjoy being there. At Colonial Heritage, golf memberships are available. ColonialHeritageClub.com.
This one's for every sports fan who just spent the entire game explaining to someone the entire game. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
The William & Mary Student Athlete of the Week, presented by the Virginia Lottery, recognizes tribe student athletes for their standout efforts in competition, the classroom, and the community. For the second straight week, the William & Mary Student Athlete of the Week, presented by the Virginia Lottery, is volleyball graduate student Julia Brown. Brown was voted as this week's award winner by the William & Mary fan base via social media polls on both the @TribeAthletics Twitter and Instagram accounts. William & Mary's women's soccer Elena Longjohn, field hockey's Kimmy Jones, and football Nate Lynn were also recognized as finalists for their weekly honor. In 2 matches in Charlottesville against Winthrop and Akron, Brown totaled 31 kills. Against the Zips, she posted a career-high 21 kills, hit .606, and added 8 blocks. A 4-time William & Mary Provost Award winner, Brown is currently pursuing her MBA in the prestigious Raymond A. Mason School of Business.
At William & Mary, we strive to be more than we are, and to do more than we've ever done. Here, we do not live in the shadows of the giants of American history that we helped to shape. We stand on their shoulders, reaching higher, looking further, and leading the way forward. To be a place where history happens every day, and to be a university for the bold.
Fun fact, you know Mountain Dew and spicy chicken is the perfect combo?
Does it look like I don't know that?
Okay. Didn't mean to ruffle your feathers.
You know, we both did the employee training, Gary.
Okay, don't jump down my beak.
Doing spicy? Do the do.
Everything you know about colonial heritage is true. A beautiful golf course with exquisite dining and superb event space. But this is also true. You don't have to live there to play, dine, or celebrate there. So let Colonial Heritage be your host for a round, a meal, or a gathering. It's all true. You don't have to live there to enjoy being there. At Colonial Heritage, golf memberships are available. ColonialHeritageClub.com.
What does tomorrow look like? That's really up to us. By exploring what's ahead and learning from where we've been, we find ways to care and teach ourselves and others how to heal so that we can make life better by design.
Welcome back to Tribe Talk as we continue to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attack that killed over 3,000 Americans. It is our great honor to welcome Colonel Tim Brady to the show. Colonel Brady played linebacker for the Tribe, graduating in 1997, and he joins us today as a Marine. Colonel Brady, thanks so much for taking some time today.
Hey, my pleasure, and great to be here.
First question out of the blocks. How did your football playing days and your degree from William & Mary help you and influence your career thus far?
Well, certainly. As a student athlete at the College of William & Mary, working hard in the classroom every single day, as well as the gridiron of the football field, getting down in the dirt and the physical struggle that it is to be a football player and working on every single rep translates very well over to being a United States Marine and what we do every single day.
I had read recently that Coach Laycock's Regiment has actually helped you a little bit going forward as well.
Oh, very true. He taught me definitely at the college there that every rep counts and you make the most of every effort. And then throughout this time in the Marine Corps, I've certainly applied that in what I do.
Does the discipline to get through a university with the academic rigors and to play a Division I sport at the highest level, is that kind of what we're talking about, Tim?
That's absolutely what we're talking about. I mean, you have to bring your A game every single day. It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, focus, and effort. And you have to do that every single day, day in and day out.
I might add that you had another benefit from going to William & Mary. You met your future and now wife.
Oh, that's correct. Yes. My wife was also a student athlete there. Ellen Eves Brady, and two-time state champ as a gymnast.
Let's go back to when you began your military career in the Marines. We're talking to Colonel Tim Brady from Hawaii, by the way. We'll get more into that a bit later. But I understand shortly after you joined the Marine Corps, the attack on the USS Cole happened. What your memories of that?
That's true. After I graduated, my first tour was out in Camp Pendleton, California. And I was deployed as part of the 13th Marine Expeditionary Unit afloat on the USS Tarawa in the Arabian Gulf. And in October of 2000, the USS Cole was bombed. I was on an aircraft about 6 hours after that event with live ammunition and my platoon of Marines heading over to secure another ship, the USNS Walter S. Steele, as it pulled into a foreign port to be able to refuel so that it can get underway and support the rest of the U.S. Navy that was sent to sea.
I think for us civilians, if I may, the commemoration of that horrible event that happened 20 years ago is something that should be remembered. What are your memories of that day as an active Marine at the time?
Well, yes, on September 11th, 2001, in Camp Pendleton, California, I was at an annual pistol qualification range. It was just after 6 a.m. in the morning. We heard it on the car radio about what was happening. Not sure really what to make of the event. And we continued on with our annual pistol qualification. Well, about 2 hours later, we went back to our command post where then we actually saw the images on TV and start to realize the magnitude of what was happening.
you knew before most that it certainly could have been a terrorist attack.
Absolutely. And on that day, it definitely changed the trajectory of our career for the rest of my time. But that day alone, from that morning when we went to the pistol range to the end of the day, our posture, the way we did things around camp definitely changed.
Colonel Tim Brady played football at William & Mary, graduating in 1997. I read a comment about one of your teammates, Sean McDermott, obviously now the head football coach at the Buffalo Bills, said he remembers you with a tremendous structure even in your college days.
Well, I don't know about that, but certainly I had some focus, and I worked hard at what I did every single day.
Can you tell us a little bit about your current job and where you're located? And you have clearly coming through the ranks is an understatement at the U.S. Marines, being a colonel now in Hawaii.
Yes, I'm a colonel and a commanding officer of the 3rd Marine Infantry Regiment in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. And the 3rd Marines is an organization of approximately 3,400 Marines and sailors. And right now, this regiment is actually going to redesignate early next year as a Marine Littoral Regiment, the very first of its kind in the United States Marine Corps, as part of the new Force Design 2030.
Well, can we ask you a little bit more of that? That's not top secret. What exactly does that mean for the safety of all America?
Certainly. That means we're preparing for the war we're going to fight next, not for the last war. We're bringing in new technology and new equipment to ensure that we remain the most ready when the nation is least ready.
So, Colonel Brady, we've talked a little bit about your experience at William & Mary and how that's helped you in your career. What is your message to William & Mary fans and alums, and quite frankly, the American people as we continue to this day fight terrorism worldwide?
Well, first and foremost, September 11th. It's a day to honor and to remember the nearly 3,000 men and women that lost their lives on that day in 2001, including the 7 alumni from the College of William & Mary. But please know that our U.S. military, our young men and women in this fight against terrorism are training harder than ever, are more capable than ever to fight for and defend our values, our freedoms, and our way of life as the United States of America.